So it has begun, ladies. The fellas are calling me, okay? Guys, if these videos don't apply to you, they don't apply to you. I am not talking to men. I am talking to single women who are dating men with kids. And if you are a single woman dating men with kids and you do not have children, it is a very different perspective on things to date men with kids. And I just had a very, very good educational give and take conversation with a homie of mine who is married and is also a father of other children. So he has different baby mamas, and we had a great discussion. Part of that discussion, even with him, was, yeah, we do add to y'all being a little bit crazy though. Like, see, you just admitted it. But anyway, in this video, again, I'm talking to the single women. I'm gonna give you guys an example on why I'm talking to single women. My stepmother, when she married my dad, she came to us and she said, hey, how did the vacation that your dad took you on a couple of months ago? And we were like, that motherfucker ain't take us nowhere. And she told us, where he said he took it. We were like, nah, he didn't do that. And I remember dating a guy, and he used his kids as an excuse to date other women while he was courting my stepmother to marriage. But so yeah, they can marry you, but along the way they can also be full of shit. I was dating a guy, and he was telling me he was taking his daughter to like Aruba or some tropical place. That, yeah, you can take kids, like Black Travel Movement group on Facebook. I'm on that. But to be honest, it's just like, it wasn't a place that you take a kid. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm taking my daughter to Disneyland this weekend. He was like, I'm taking my daughter to like Aruba or Bali or something like that. And I plan on traveling with my daughter, but it just was weird. And I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, and the mutual friend was like, he went with a chick. I was like, that makes more sense. So this is the game I'm trying to put women up on, single women, about men that have kids. Because I find it to be a low-life thing to use your child as an excuse to just go off and date somebody else. I really do. Like, I don't respect my dad, and I do not respect a man who would, do the same kind of things that my dad has done. So, and that I say, yeah, I could blow this off the daddy issues, but I think a lot of the game that my father pulled, he should have taught. I was actually watching a Lenny Kravitz interview, and he was saying that Zoe was dating Drake back in the day. And Wendy Williams asked Lenny Kravitz, what does he think about that? And he was like, well, I already put her up on game. So, as a musician, as a man, so they need to be worried about her. That's what you men need to be doing with your daughters. But anyway, since a lot of men don't do that, I am here to teach my single women the things that I didn't know, especially from the perspective of being now a mother and having a baby daddy. So, where I was a single woman with no kids dating men that had kids. So here we go with the second video after 3 minutes of blah, blah, blah. The position of family, okay? Talking to one of my best friends, the conversation was something, and we're best friends for a reason, but she said something that I remember saying to one of my exes. My ex had 2 kids, and he never married the mother. And he said to me, my family. And I said, that's not your family. He's like, that is my family. And I said, that's not your family. You didn't marry that woman. You didn't honor her and marry her and make her a wife. So therefore, you guys are not a family. A family is a wife, a husband, and kids. And that was a conversation that we had. And that was verbiage that I'd never wanted to hear out his mouth again. And now I know, being more mature, this is like 8 years later. Number one, it came from a place of insecurity for me, because if you have a family, what are you with me for? If you have a family, where do I fit in? Why am I here? Why are you dating me? What is my purpose? Why are you wasting my time? If you have a family, go be with your family, because you're obviously not going to have one with me. You're not going to create one with me if you have one already. That doesn't make any sense. That was my perspective as a single woman with no kids. Now that I am a single mom, have never been married, myself, her dad, and her will always be a family. That will always be her family. We will always be a family. We will always be her family. However you say it, however you cut it, however you spit it. We are a family unit. We may not be the cookie cutter mom and dad that got married and had the wedding and had the kid, but we will always be her family. And I just know that as a single woman, to hear that is very daunting, because it's like, where do I fit in? If that's your mindset, if there are meaning behind words, then if that's your state of mind, where do I fit in? What's my place here? You know, you putting her on a pedestal of family, then that position's already filled, so I don't need to be dating you. But it is a different perspective when you become a mom. It is verbiage that I think doesn't sit well with single women. But it doesn't make it not true. I just had to get on the other side of that situation and say, okay, I understand where that comes from now. I get it. I totally get it. Cookie cutter, family or not, like I said before, me, her father, and she will always be a family unit. We will always have to make family decisions. We will always have to do family things. And depending on, our future steps, that may involve, step parents or whatever in the future. But as of now, she, he, and I are a family. And, like I said, when my ex said that to me, it didn't sit well with me as a single woman because I could not grasp that element as a single person who was looking for her own family, who wanted her own family. That didn't work for me. So, but I want to say that it is verbiage that may be uncomfortable for single women, but I would say just don't take it so literally. It doesn't mean that man will not put you into that family, but in a sense, though, you have to go in and kind of respecting how they've already done things, how they already have things set up. And I think you do need to have some clear conversation about what your place is going to be if there is a future with you, how you're going to fit in. And like I said in my previous video, if a man is actually digging you, the respectable thing is to introduce you to the mother of his children as a important component of his life. I do think that is something that should be done. I know a lot of men don't want to do it for whatever reasons, but if that man is actually going to elevate you I want to say even before you meet his kids per se, I do think that there is a level of introduction that needs to be done. Maybe that's just me. I know people don't agree. I know people don't want to do it, but to cover the notion of what a family is and why that may not sit well with a lot of single women. It is a different place that I'm on now. And I'm like, I never thought I would even accept that verbiage, but it is true. Like I said it, third time. She, me, and her dad will always be a family. And anybody who comes after will have to get adjusted to what we've already set up. And yes, a wife would have a certain level of honor if he gets married. A husband would have a certain level of honor if I get married. And we would have to go from there. But those two people would have to come in and work with the situation and the setup that we already had. To come in and try to bulldozer the ins and outs and the setup that two people already have when it comes to how they're raising their kids is like the worst thing you can do. It's the worst thing you could do under the sun, because things that they may have already set up may or may not be a place for you to even comment on. It's kind of a stay in your lane type of thing. And unfortunately, that's a weird place for a woman. And this is one of the reasons why I was even like, I don't even want to date a man that has kids anymore. Pros and cons, though, you get to see a lot of how he treats the mother of his child, how he treats his children. And you don't get to see that if he doesn't have kids. And you can kind of get surprised by what you thought he would be as a dad and then when he is as a dad, and vice versa. But, the family conversation is interesting. It really is. So if there were reasons why I just stopped dating men that had kids. So it becomes a personal choice, ladies. If you are a single woman that does not have kids, which you are willing to accept and not accept. But I want to give you the clear cut, no sugar on shit, ins and outs to dating men that have kids. So from a single perspective to my now motherhood perspective. So until next video.